think that's a different thing.
LeBron, by the way, 3 threes away from passing Kyle Korver.
Ooh, Kyle Korver can shoot that thing.
Number 7 all time, and he's second in 30-point games now with 559. MJ's got 562.
See, Ernie,
What?
that's an amazing stat to talk about. Everybody, I don't get into debate about greatness. So LeBron has played how many more seasons than Michael Jordan, and he's still behind him? That's crazy. That's crazy. And I love LeBron, but for him to be that far behind MJ and I'm played probably 8 more seasons? Come on, man. Y'all need to stop this.
LeBron in your era with Michael in LeBron's era, who does better?
Probably Michael.
Okay. And then with Kobe, I'm assuming you're going to say Michael, of Michael and Kobe's era. It's kind of the same.
Yeah.
So, okay.
I would probably still say Michael would do better because, remember, Michael era, my era, early on, very physical, 85, 90-point games.
That's right.
Different.
That's right.
In today's game, we're looking at some games that'll get to 130, 140.
Insane. Boring.
And
Yeah.
so I think Michael would have strived off of just being free, open,
Right.
not having the physicality that he had to play with it night in and night out.
You just don't walk in from high school with no institutional knowledge and dominate a sport for the years that he's dominated. So when you talk about LeBron James, Michael Jordan, I look at from the neck up, not necessarily from the neck down, and I'm not going to judge. Again, my criteria is a little different because from a concentration standpoint and a game planning standpoint, LeBron James is head and shoulders above any of these guys.
So are you saying LeBron is better than Michael Jordan?
I would pick LeBron James. If I'm trying to build a team, now it ain't sour grapes. Hold on, come on over here and talk about it because I won, okay? You can't be dismissive of what I did, okay? So let's keep it real now. Now, so if you're trying to win a series, I'm going with the brain, okay? If I got to get 40 points or 50 points, then yeah, I'm taking a Michael Jordan or a Kobe. But the greatest player to ever play this game is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. We are dismissive of Kareem because every single stat that you throw up, he's at the top.
LeBron James, by the way, is one of the top handful of players on anybody's list. That's sane.
Wow.
But we're gonna elevate him over Michael Jordan?
Yeah.
Is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so now I have to, and I hate to be this guy, have to pick apart who's better and why and all of that stuff. Okay. Michael era Jeffrey Jordan. Not only did he win 6 championships, he won 3 in a row twice. How many does LeBron have? 3 total. Okay? And he was the best player each time. So much so, he was the finals MVP 6 times. He never had to leave teams. You know why? Because he was gonna make his team find a way to win a championship when he was there. Why did LeBron leave Cleveland?
Yes, he had to win a championship.
And just last year, we were like, oh, LeBron's dragging the Cleveland Cavaliers to the NBA Finals.
Correct.
And he did that, right? And then what did he do this offseason? He left. Why did he leave Cleveland? Because they weren't good enough to win a championship anymore? Because the Boston Celtics were coming in the East?
If we're judging it by who's, stayed on the same team the longest, but I don't think that's what Daryl Morey, by the way, I agree with Laura. I think he's looking at advanced metrics. And if you do look at that case, there's a lot to support what he's saying about LeBron.
I got some advanced metrics. If Michael Jordan didn't go play baseball, he probably would have won 8 straight championships. That's some advanced metrics.
Why'd he go play baseball?
Let me tell you where you lied at. You forgot that LeBron James and I came in 2003. The league wasn't soft then. They still had Gary Payton. They still had Shaquille O'Neal. They still had Rasheed Wallace, Ben Wallace. They still had some rough riders. The league wasn't what it was back then, what it is today. So that's the first thing. Second thing, let's talk about LeBron James' story. Forget all the stats that I could throw out there that may take up majority of the show. Forget this segment. I'm not going to even address that. I'm going to address the word pressure. No athlete in the history, not just in basketball, but in history of sports, have had the pressure that LeBron James has had since the age of 16. I keep telling people that when he was in high school and they labeled him the chosen one, people in the NBA, they got evidence. Were waiting and hating on this man, saying he's not going to do this in the league, and he did it in the league. When you talk about pressure, he left Cleveland and went to South Beach, where it was pressure on them to win championships, and he delivered. Then he returned back to Cleveland, where an owner called him a Benedict Arnold. And he went back to the state of Ohio, his hometown, and delivered a championship in great fashion. One of the best championships in NBA history. That's pressure. And what he do? He joined one of the most historical franchises in NBA history. The Lakers with Magic, Kareem, Kobe, Shaq, all won titles in his 16th year. He goes and joined the Los Angeles Lakers. And here we are today in 2020 talking about LeBron James about to win his 4th NBA championship with the Los Angeles Lakers. Pressure is the word today, and no other player has had or overachieved like LeBron James did over his NBA career.
He is as close to perfection of a superstar as it gets in terms of being a role model, an inspiration, and what he deserves credit for. All of those things are true. But having said all of that, I respectfully disagree. I don't ever want to hear anybody tell me that he is number one over Michael Jordan. I don't want to hear it. I'm not listening to it. I pay no attention to it. I will give him no consideration because I'm not just talking about your versatility. I'm talking about what you were in key, pivotal moments, big time. What you matured into, Jordan was that from the moment he arrived. You had to grow into that, and there was a lot of hiccups along the way that you encountered because of you, not because of somebody else, not because of a teammate in it, you. And he's not Michael Jordan.
Knock it off. God damn, boy, you bronzexuals be killing me.
Bronzexuals? I actually brought up the
they say, let me ask you this. They go, Michael couldn't have taken a bum Cavs team to the finals the way LeBron did.
Now keep in mind, that's a good point.
No, it's not a good point, because keep in mind what I just said. Mike took a coke-infested bum Bulls team, and he lost in the second round, or in the first round, second game, or whatever the it was, to the Celtics. 5 Hall of Famers, then champions. You don't think Mike could have took that Cavs team to the finals in a conference that wasn't as strong when Mike was in the East? That's why they called it the Leaston Conference. When LeBron was in the East, it was at its weakest. When Jordan was in the East, it was at its strongest. The defense, the physicality, the Knicks, the Cavs, the Pistons, the Pacers. The fuck out of here, man.
Well, no, I remember I asked Dominique, I said, do you regret never winning a ring? He goes, well, not really, because back then the Eastern Conference was a
monster.
Stack, Thomas, let's talk about, we know that they don't have a good relationship or didn't have a good relationship. Is he bitter, or does he really believe that LeBron is better than Jordan?
He played against MJ. They had their rivalries. You know they're not friends, so I can see him saying that.
Right.
I came in the league at the end of Jordan. I played against him once or twice, and I played against LeBron a lot. The only way I give Michael Jordan the edge is because I've never seen MJ quit. I've never seen him not have that killer instinct. 6 championships speaks for itself, but every game he wanted the ball at the end of the game. He never ran away from the ball. He's never shied away from that moment. We've all seen LeBron do that before. And that's as far as talent, you can't really say anything bad about either one of them, but that's why I separate them two. They're both great. They're going down as the 2 best of all time. I got to take Jordan over him.
When you talk about just a basketball player, a complete basketball player, LeBron James is a much better basketball player than Michael Jordan. Now, Michael Jordan was a great scorer, and he dominated, and he did some things that, LeBron has been criticized for not doing. But when you look at what he does on the basketball floor, rebounding, assisting, and scoring, and what he did last night in that game, to me, from a leadership standpoint, Vito, she mentioned, early in the show that you had, they were playing like corpse, right? His teammates were back there. And you know what? I think about that, and I say, you're right. So what LeBron James did from a leadership standpoint, nursing his team back to health, bringing J.R. Smith back to life, bringing Green back to life, out on the floor in some of the biggest moments where we've seen players fail and crumble, right? His leadership from an inspirational standpoint, he didn't pound on his teammates. What he did was he motivated them, he inspired them, and got them to a point where now they can join him, compete, play, and win. And that's the mark of a great leader.
Michael Jordan was the most complete basketball player that's ever lived. Complete. Like Kareem was just as effective. Certain people LeBron at times could be just as effective. But the most complete basketball player that ever lived is Michael Jordan. Completeness.
Preach.
So like his ability to do every aspect of basketball at the highest level. And I think that came from going to college. Because in college, the best...
I'm glad you're talking. I say that when he got to the pros, he had no weaknesses.
He had no weaknesses. Because what happens is, what college does, the best coaches are in college basketball. Because there's more. The best ones are there. So they design defenses and offenses that are different from the NBA. So you learn how to play against a zone defense. You learn how to play against a man-to-man, 1-3-1, 2-1-2. You know different defenses. NBA is just strict man-to-man, but your philosophies and thought process is from a totality of all of those defenses. So now the game is easier for you, and you're much more easier. What I always say about Michael, what's different between even the great Kobe Bryant and great LeBron James is, he was still the most fundamental basketball player. Like, LeBron's IQ is crazy, but the most fundamental, when you watch LeBron, you don't always say he's most fundamental. So, correct hand in the passing lane. That was Michael. He was the best athlete and the most fundamental because he went to college for 3 years and developed certain things.
If you want to start a team, I'm going to go with LeBron because of him being able to take lesser talent and elevate those guys because of his pass-first mentality, being able to elevate his team in terms of how their style of play. Mike is going out there trying to get 30 and 40 points. He's not looking to make his team better.
Stephen A., does Tracy have a point?
No, he does not.
Hold on, Stephen A.
Man,
hold on, Stephen A.
No, you hold on, Tracy McGrady.
Listen, I'm not saying who's better. Take it from me, a guy that was a scorer first.
Did you not have to do what you had to do because of the lack of parts around you?
Right.
Wasn't that true?
Yes.
So you can't hold that against MJ. LeBron has always been LeBron. Other people had to take different roles that they may have not wanted to take because of him. That is fact.
I got you on that. Yes. When he got his guys, MJ won, no doubt about it. But why did KD go and join a 73 team? Because LeBron. Thank you. Because of LeBron James. He knew he could not beat LeBron James if he was to face him in the finals. These guys had to team up super teams to beat LeBron James. They had to join forces.
Most people would say Michael, even your generation. Having said that, what I don't like about the GOAT conversation is that people believe if you pick someone, it's taken away from the other guy. It's not. I mean, I think LeBron's going to have the greatest career, or has already.
Yeah.
He has the greatest career to ever have. And actually, Kareem is second, in my opinion, as far as length of career and done all these great things. What's the one stat? And I'm killing it, so it's going to be wrong, but I think there's 5 players that have won the MVP in the regular season, won the MVP in the finals, won the scoring title, was Defensive Player of the Year, or made the defensive team. And you know who the 5 are? Michael Jordan, Michael Jordan, Michael Jordan, Michael Jordan, Michael Jordan.
Really? That's wild.
And so, I mean, there's so many stats like that.
And you played against them.
Yeah.
And you've coached against LeBron. You've coached against Kobe.
Yeah.
You've coached against all of them.
And all of them had to grow.
Yeah.
You know, Michael's rookie year, he was dominant. So was LeBron. Kobe probably was young, so he probably took a little bit longer. You know, Michael's and LeBron's more, being a student of the game grew. It's funny, when we beat them twice when I was in Boston, I thought he was the best player in the NBA, but I didn't think he was the best student of the game. Like, Garnett knew every play, everything. And now when you hear LeBron talk, that's LeBron. I remember the game when he went to Miami. We played him an exhibition game or a regular season game, and he started calling out our sets. And I want to say it was Tibbs, but I'm not sure if it was or not. Whoever was next to me, I turned and said, oh boy, we're in trouble.
Yeah, because he's figured it out.
Yeah, he's figured it out. So there's a growth spurt for all these guys.
Forget the Jordan and LeBron comparisons per se. I've never seen Jordan run from a defensive assignment. In my opinion, I don't want to use the word running because I'm not trying to disrespect LeBron. But I will say this, there have been many, many occasions where I would have liked to have seen him accepting the tougher defensive assignment, and that is not something that he has been prone to do. If anybody would know whether or not that statement is true, it would be you, GP. Your thoughts?
Well, it is true. I think it's a different little era, and with
them too. Michael Jordan always took it to a point that he wanted to guard the best player. Even with myself, even if I start talking trash at him, he would always tell Scottie Pippen, look, I'm taking Gary tonight. He would always take the best basketball player on that thing. But I think now in this era, LeBron doesn't want to tire himself out because he does so much on his Cleveland basketball team. It's a difference. Michael Jordan really didn't have a mindset of, I don't care if I do tire myself out, I'm going to go and take this guy because I want to prove to him that I am the better basketball player. I think that LeBron doesn't have that mindset that he wants to do that every night because he knows that he does so much on his team and he has to exert himself so much that he doesn't do it.
But I'm saying to you, Gary, I've never seen him do it. I'm talking about I have never seen a game where LeBron has come out from open and tap and said, you know what, I got him. I'm shutting him down. I've never seen him do it ever.
I haven't seen it neither, and it's just that's the case. But like I said, I haven't seen that. I said it's the truth, but I have to be in LeBron's case too because, like I said, he has to do so much on these basketball teams. He does not have Scottie Pippen. He does not have guys like that who can help him out on a Chicago team in that situation. I think it's just a little different.